Hello, how you doing? Once again, my name is Steve S. Christian, and always sending my love and prayers out to everybody all over the United States of America. You know, we dealing with man these agents and this stuff like that, and that stuff. You know, these agents out here, and whatever. But I will say this: everybody protest. It's your constitutional right. Do it in peace, man. Do it by the numbers. Do it the right way. Don't be in these guys' faces. Put your camera all up in their faces, man. You know, because I'm pretty sure them down. You step in my face with a camera, with a phone, cell phone, and all of my, I would slap it out your hands too, right? So, you can't do that, right? You can step back. You can open your screen, close your screen, open your screen, close your screen. You can widen that thing and all that. You ain't got to be all in people's face, right? They doing what they feel like they have to do, right? Respect that, whether whether you believe in it or not, right? They believe in it. That's their cause. So you know, you gotta, but you can't be in their personal space, right? 'Cause we as black people seeing it all the time that we get shot, we are killed, and the first thing they say to us is that you know what, you didn't follow orders. So now that you got one of your own out there, a white lady that's a mother, and and whatever who Renee, I believe that's her name, and right, they justified it. It's justified killing, right? She right. So we've been there, done that. So we already know that feeling. So now y'all tasting that they don't care about you either. So don't give them a reason. But protest, do it respectfully. No, give them their space. They have what they have to do, but don't put yourself in jeopardy. Why are you going to jail? You follow me? Why are you going to jail? Because you voiced your First Amendment rights, your constitutional rights to protest, right? And they got you because they done locked you up and sent you to jail because you voiced your fundamental right, right? So you can do that, right? So if you benefit us, you do not benefit the cause if you in jail. You follow what I'm saying? You don't benefit the cause of what we as a nation, as a people need to do if you are in jail. So be peaceful. Do as much as you can not to go to jail, but let your voices be heard, right? So that's it. That's that was educate yourself. Educate yourself, right? And because we we have a I'm talking about a system. We have a system that has failed us, and actually the system is failing its own self. So get into that, right? Also, hey, look, take the time and understand and read the Constitution, man. It's the law, right? So it's what it empowerment, right? Because they're basically saying that the FBI is going to um, not partnership with anybody on this investigation, right? So we all know that stinks from high heaven or low hell, wherever it stinks. It's in the pits of hell where it stinks. But Congress, the members of Congress, has the power to enforce anything that's under Congress, which is the FBI, which is any federal agency. Get this. Congress is the most powerful group of people on God's green earth. And they are using, they're not even using the power that they have to govern the country. The president is nothing but is supposed to be a figurehead of what Congress need them to do. In other words, if a president it shouldn't be getting up, any president ever shouldn't be getting up, getting on a jet, flying to other countries, talking to other diplomats, doing this, that, and the other, without Congress giving them the order to get on a plane and go. Follow what I'm saying? All the president is he execute what Congress needs him to do. So you got a group of men and women sitting in a place and they got the most power, they got all the power, they got all the more power on earth than any group of people on the planet anywhere as a body. And they are being made fools of by a very mentally sick person. And they're looking at it like, what we do? Instead of them, and he has enough nerve, and he's right. He calls them stupid in their face. He's not lying. They got more power than him, but they surrender their power to him. You understand? They got more power than him as a collective. So you got Democrats and Republicans. They can't get if they got along just somewhere down the middle. Man, we have so them. That's why he called them stupid because they got all this power and they can't even get along long enough to make the world, the country, and everybody safe. It ain't that. He just pulling the trigger. The ignorance is in Congress. The idiots are the people that you and your congressional neighborhoods and bodies have put into office to represent you. And they want you to believe that a president has all power and all authority. And no, they are they can write laws and interpret laws and create laws to give themselves more power. That's how much power they got. And they just, anyway. Um, yeah, that's that. So I had to get that out. So look, um, I gotta finish this up. So we were talking about I was talking about demons and how how they can be demons can be evil spirits and these evil spirits can cause more decay and which eventually leads into a physical rebellion against the principles and foundations of God. What you see, what the hatred and all that you see, and it's just not even there right now. They just we hear we see it because it's like everybody got access to everything, so we see that on that level. But man, I tell you, man, hate, anger, all those things that that bad stuff. People got bad vibes. People just want to create separation and separation and whatever against each other, man. That's just totally against what God has called us to do and be. God don't want, God does not want us. God did not create us to be like that. God created us to fellowship and to coexist together. God did not create us to say one is better than the other. God felt that He was no better than anyone else when He incarcerated or let me say that I can't even get it. So when he took his spirit put it in a flesh body, and made himself lower than the angels. And because he never felt that even as God, he's no better than his creation. And he's really only as good as his creation is, right? You're only as good as you if your children, if your children make bad decisions, and that happens, and this, that, and the other, man. But you know, if your children go out and be a success and do a lot of good things, the proper thing, then people say, man, they always reflect back on the parents, you know. But most kids, they get it, they be like, their grandmothers, their grandparents did that thing. So, but mostly people go back and look at the grandparents, right? So, man, the parents, man, their parents really did a great job of raising them. Normally, when a kid does bad, and you still can have great parents and try to raise them right. But the first thing the kid do when the kid go bad and do bad, this, that, and the other, what they do is they blame the parent, right? So it's like, man, well, I don't know how they raise him. My mama, my mama didn't raise me like that. So your creation or what you put into and what you do in life is a representation of who you are, and who you are is representation should be a representation of who created you. So it all connects. So you know what I'm saying. So, but we know one thing for sure. We know that the demons uh, could not, did not, and would not enter inside of Christ our Lord, because in him was life. Right? If you full of life, a well of life, or a well of springing water, you bring forth good things. So when you're bringing forth good things and you're doing good things and your heart is pushing out good things, but not because you want to look good, because your intention is to really help and be good and be good, right? Do that is which is right. And it's not hard for, no, it becomes very hard for, rather, for you, for evil and crazy, um, demon like thoughts to manifest and take over your thoughts and body, and you go out there and do crazy stuff, right? And then, I don't know about, one day they were just living a perfect life, and then somebody go, all of a sudden, they just snap. So, I don't think nobody just snaps. It's in you. And all it did was the right buttons were pushed and it just came out you. So you can't put nothing out you that's not in you. So, uh, establish life in your source, in your life, establish life, positive life in your life, uh, and these bad things won't come to you. So it's like if you were, if they say if you steal, if you lie, you'll steal. If you steal, you kill. This works. So if you start, with me, I had a drink. I started drinking, and I went to cigarettes, and I went from cigarettes to coke. I think I was snorting coke, and then I went from there. I went to crack, and then I got into other. Then I got into sexual addictions and this, that, and the other. So I ain't never put no needle in my arm, nothing like that. Not that. But once you start these letting these evil spirits, when you start letting one partake in your house, you bring in company. You ever had, you ever invited a friend over, somebody you hang out with, and you come over, and he come over Or she can come over with two, three, four other people. Like, hey, man, I didn't ask you to bring, I didn't ask you to bring all these people. You know what I mean? Well, these people come from, bro. I just told you to come by here. You know, they bring them demons, man. They bring stuff. They bring other demons with them, man. They bring that those negative thoughts bring other negative thoughts with it, man. They just start building a fellowship. Um, so Christ was morally perfect. Therefore, being 100% morally correct in his convictions, he could never entertain the ideas of temptation. Never entertained it. Man, I'm not getting into that mess. Our blessed hope in him, our blessed hope in him is truth and righteousness. And in him is the perfect fellowship. In him is the grace of God, the divine favor, salvation, assurance, peace, joy, and love. That's pretty good. That's right. Salvation, assurance, peace, joy, and hope. I said love, but hope, it can be six. The tombs that we're planting in now can become gardens. Look, man, if you're in a bad place, you're in a bad way, you do a bad thing, look, and it just seems like it's dead, right? It don't have to be. You can become a garden. You can become a person and an individual springing forth a light, uh, because of the seed, because the seed reproduces of itself only by the divine grace of God. Each tree must produce of its own kind. Each plant produces of its own kind, right? Each flower, each seed reproduces of its own self, right? So if you are regenerated in by the Spirit of God, then therefore on His Spirit will from inside you will reproduce of itself in someone else. And when that happens, a fellowship is created. That's how fellowship is created. We're not unequally yoked. We're bonded by the spirit and by the likeness and by the same way of thinking. Therefore, we can now educate each other and sharpen each other's swords, and we can come to each other in love and correct each other because we want the best for each other. And that's the love of another fellowship. So, you know, if you read Mark 15, the demon possessed man, at this point, after Christ had removed these demons from this guy, he was sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed, and guess what? He was in his right mind. And this is a dude that walked around tombs. He had come from among the tombs and became tame and disciplined. Because disciple is in the word discipline, or vice versa, one of them. So, you scholars can figure that out. You know, by the mercy of Jesus and the grace of God, a man who went on to find a better fellowship. There are better fellowships out here in the world, and they're out here, and they you don't create them; they are formed. God has already formed it. You just gotta connect to it. You gotta connect to it. Um, I'm the same way. So here I am, coming from my tombs of addiction and flawed personalities. And I'm speaking, right now I'm speaking with power and truth. I got some dental work I got to get done. No big deal. I lost my health care, but I get that back. I get that back. That's really one of the things that right now with the video thing, I lost my health care, so I couldn't get my dental work taken care of. So yeah, that's another thing. But I'm not gonna. The biggest thing was not being silent because I didn't have my dental work done. So, but I'm like that because just the decisions I made, man, out there getting high and drinking and not taking care of myself, man, and that's why I know them drugs, man, and stuff like that. It must got chemicals in there, man. That's just can't be killing your body, man. You know, um, the alcohol, the cocaine, the marijuana nowadays stink. That mess stink. I don't even know how people even smoke that. That mess stink. I can't stand the smell of it. Back when we were smoking that, that's that lime cess and had that Hawaiian cess, and them, you got seeds all in the bag, and man, that stuff had a aroma on it. That mess they smoking there, I don't know. It give me a headache. It stink. So, but to each his own. I don't want none of that garbage. So yeah, the man that was possessed with 6,000 demons. He went on to find a better relationship. And like I said, I come out of my addictions. I'm still working on my personality. I'm still flawed. I still got a lot of, I still got a lot of hoof in me. But I'm better. I'm getting better. Um, but I am moving forward. I'm springing forth life by teaching the truth of salvation and eternal life as commanded by God. So this is my way of giving back. Like I said, you know, I don't. Your comments really don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So leave them. Leave them. I, I may read them. I may not. I don't know. Um, 'Cause, people always got something to say. So I ain't even tripping on that. So I don't care. So I'm not even really into that. Um, I may look at it just to scan, just to see if somebody got got something positive. What I'm basically saying, if you coming up here with all that negative mess, I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. So what I'm saying to you, don't even waste your time. Well, you can waste your time, and you can waste your time and write anything negative that you want to. Because guess what? I'm not even gonna reply to it. So what I'm saying to you, wasting your time. Because I'm not gonna reply. So take that noise. You want noise and you want attention, go somewhere else. Well, you don't have to. You can stay here and not get none. But it's all what you want. I don't care. So that's what that is. Um, so so Christ tells those that basically what I'm gonna try to sum it up. Christ basically tells those who are asleep, like all of us at one time, to rise up, let's go. Because his boys were asleep while he was in there praying, and while he was in the garden praying, he was like, God, take the Lord, take this cup away from me. Father, take this cup from me. They sleep. Then he went over to them guys and said, look, rise up, let's go. Right, it's time. So after he told them to, like I said, at first he told them to wait. They fell asleep. Then he come back to them, and here it is again. He said, rise up, and that's the call. Right. So now, what I'm doing with this right now, I'm rising up. I'm rising up. I'm coming out of my place of obscurity, right, and I'm rising up, and, and doing my part to help the Father build a better fellowship. And so, with that being said, that so I am I don't have political. I got political views. I keep them between me and my a very intelligent person and mentor. So um, she is sharp. I promise you, she's sharp. So but yeah, so I keep a lot. I don't really have. I'm not here to make a political stance. I'm not here to gain notoriety or anything like that. The chips are man and man. But trust. I'm, 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 I'm more or less now. You know, on different places, pages, and just trying to implement, wisdom. People, you know, like for instance, they're for example, people want to go out there. The lady came out, the chess lady come out and said, there's only be an FBI investigation. Look, I don't, not even knocking her. I just go pull up the Constitution, I copy and paste things on the Constitution, and basically I put that on whatever post she got out there, and I'm saying, look, you ain't the only one that can investigate this. Congress can override you at any time and have somebody else and have another group that you have to answer to investigate, because in reality, Congress has the power to do the investigation and and send it to the DOJ and persecute this guy, right? So what I'm saying to you, there are ways that can go about it, but if we don't understand the system, if you don't understand that how to get the information out and help and have other people start pushing the buttons in Congress, so Congress can push the buttons to get this guy brought up on charges for murdering this woman, right? Because hey, to them, the protest there they ain't really matter. They don't care about. They don't really care if you out there protesting and marching around. What they want you, as long as you out there doing that, and you're not involved inside Congress, inside the system, then you are no threat to them. So you just can't sit out. It's good to have people out there protesting, but you got to use this to get the justice that you need. And for those people that that black people, that anybody that was killed by law enforcement, whatever race, I didn't have that understanding. Today I had that understanding, and today I'm saying to you this, right? You got to, in order to beat the system, you got to know the system, and you got to know how the system operates. And as long as they got you out there protesting, and you voicing your opinion, you just don't protest out in the street where the crime took place. You got to also protest in Congress and know what you're protesting for and about. You follow what I'm saying? You got to say, according to Article 1, Section 8, you have the authority to get into this investigation and investigate this guy, or you have the authority to override. That's the argument as Americans we should be making to Congress, not calling them names. Have a good day and enjoy.